Okay, so the best way to get to the exam guide, I always encourage people to go to certification.salesforce.com, and that takes you to the landing page for Salesforce University. And you've got several different links here. One that's of interest is the verification code. And if you're certified as an administrator on the Salesforce platform, then you may already be familiar with this verification tab. That's where you go to verify your own or other people's certifications, and you can search by email address or name. And then under credentials, we want to find our exam guide. And so if you look under credentials and look for the consultants link, you click on that. These are the different consultant certifications that are available. Now this list has grown dramatically recently, and it's gone from sales, service, and marketing cloud consultants to also have field service lightning consultant, and then there's a Pardot consultant certification now as well. So the one that this particular course is about, of course, is the certified sales cloud consultant. So if we click see details, we get more details in the credential overview, information about the exam, and even some sample questions. We'll have lectures around some of these sample questions later on in this course. And so the main thing though is you want to find the exam guide. Salesforce used to call this a study guide, but they now are calling this an exam guide. And this is a full exam outline, recommended online training and reference materials. And it's what I've structured this course after is this exam guide. So you can always right click and save this or click to open this in a PDF. And let me show that to you now. All right, so here's the exam guide, and what they have linked from certification.salesforce.com should be the latest and greatest. And so what I want to show you is the exam outline. And this exam outline shows the different sections, and these are called knowledge areas. Now what's of note here and of interest is that I've sectioned each section of the course after each of the sections of the exam guide. So the next section you'll run into in this course is related to industry knowledge. And I cover in that section these bullet points, and I teach the concepts around that so that by the end of that section you should know what is necessary in order to pass that part of the exam. And also it shows the weighting here for each of the knowledge areas as well. And so you notice industry knowledge weighs in at 5%. This is really high level things, and a lot of this is conceptual, and you'll find in this course that a lot of what I speak to in industry knowledge will be more informational and conceptual. So I'll be on camera a little more. I will be demonstrating some, but some of that will be more just conveying concepts. And then we move on from there to implementation strategies, which is weighted at 6%. I do encourage you to really get familiar with this because this gives you a lot of hints as to what you need to learn. And then as you work through this course as well, you can look and see where these bullet points fall into place in the actual course. And I've got at least one or sometimes multiple lectures around individual bullet points, so that once you're done with this section for implementation strategies, you should know what is necessary in order to pass that part of the exam. Also, you'll notice as you work through the course that I've got a quiz after each of these sections, and so I test your knowledge after each section so that that helps solidify the concepts that you're learning. And then as well, I plan to release a practice test course which will contain time practice tests and give you section level feedback and overall score, etc. But for now, suffice it to say that you will want to become familiar with each of these sections, each of the bullet points, and review these. And you'll want to download this for your own reference. And so be sure to go to certification.salesforce.com and look for the consultant certification options that are out there, and then download that. And that way you're sure you've got the latest and greatest from Salesforce, and you're not looking at an old copy of the exam guide. And so as well, I want you to note that I do keep the course up to date with the latest releases from Salesforce. And so when there's updates with each major release from Salesforce, I update the course correspondingly, and any practice tests or quiz questions so that those correlate as well, so that you're not falling behind. And then finally, at the end of this exam guide here, there are practice test questions. And so we will have lectures around each of these 5 practice test sample questions that Salesforce provides. These give you a really good feel for the types of questions that are asked on the exam. And then they also provide the answers in the practice test. So I've devoted lectures to each of these practice test questions in order to explain why these answers are right or wrong and to walk you through them. And I've placed these strategically in the course where they should fall logically. So I may not do these in the order that they fall in the exam guide, but rest assured that they will fall close to where you happen to be in the course when you're learning a new concept. And like I mentioned, they provide the answers as well. So now that we've finished this first introductory section, it's time to dive into the first section of the exam guide, which I encourage you once again to download and reference. And so of course that next section, as I mentioned previously, is industry knowledge. So let's get ready to learn about the industry knowledge requirements on the Sales Cloud certification exam together.